Anthony Joshua, meet with me. It's mad. He says belts don't mean S-H-I-T. Let's talk about it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Well. Anthony Joshua says belts don't mean anything, and he sounds over it. Let me get to the direct quote from Anthony Joshua. He says, what do the belts mean? He's fighting Usyk this Saturday. Quote, not much. It doesn't mean S-H-I-T. None of them do. This is what Joshua said when he was asked about his thoughts on Ring Magazine title being up for grabs in the upcoming Usyk fight. They want to take my sanctioning fees, and they want to make me look good when I go to the schools to show the kids. Look at my belt. I'm the man. You're the man. He goes on and says, all that stuff for me is here today and gone tomorrow. I just never felt these belts made me. Eddie Hearn said he needs to speak to the sanctioning bodies now, smooth some things over. So now Joshua's playing this role like the belts don't, money made the man, or man made the money, money never made the man. You know what I mean? And here's my thing. This is where I'm conflicted. Me personally, Ego, I don't believe that belts, define a person. Because you look at, like, let's say Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis, with or without belts, he's lit and he's popping. So he's putting on exciting fights, sellout crowds, electric events, and some fighters like that. Even Canelo to a degree. Canelo, he got to a point where he didn't necessarily need the belts to do a crowd or do this live gate and that. And we live in a time where we have the alphabet belts, and there's far too many belts, and it's hard to really distinguish a true champion versus secondary belt, third belt, overseas belt, silver belt, interim belts, and new programs like the franchise champion. And I think that's all highly, highly confusing to the viewer, especially new fans. But here's the thing. I've always felt the same way in modern boxing. Back in the day, belts did matter. Like when Muhammad Ali was fighting, things like that, because you knew there was less champions, there were less divisions, there were more rounds. So the people who held belts and got into title contention, they were really the Fraziers, the Ken Nortons, the Muhammad Alis, and, qualified bona fide fighters. Now there's a lot of politics where you got guys like Ryan Garcia, and they say he got X amount of Instagram following, and there's money to be made, and that's what the people feel. So they'll let him cut in the line if there was the right opportunity. Like pretend Luke Campbell had a belt, they'll let Ryan Garcia cut in the line. Like Golden Boy phone the WBC and make that happen. So I agree in that regard. Now this is where I disagree with it for someone like Anthony Joshua. I feel it's very, and I repeat, very hypocritical for Anthony Joshua to be saying this. Reason being, when Deontay Wilder had one belt, the WBC belt, and he was the undefeated WBC champion of the world, you had Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn gallivanting around the heavyweight division and in boxing, holding the multiple belts and titles over everyone's head, including Deontay Wilder, namely Deontay Wilder. So it's pretty hypocritical for Joshua to now act like, oh, I don't care about belts. It's easy to say you don't care about belts when you don't have any. When Joshua just had the belts before Usyk beat him, I never really heard him say this. So again, it's easy to say you don't care about belts and belts don't matter and belts don't define you when you got beat and you lost them. And many people even believe that you're going to lose again to Usyk and you'll still be beltless if you don't defeat Usyk this weekend. So to me, it sounds like somebody acting like they don't care based on the fact that they don't have it. You know what I mean? So it's like, imagine if somebody, their finances aren't good and you see someone get a brand new Ferrari, and then you hear the broke person say, oh, I wouldn't even want a Ferrari. So you mean to tell me if you could afford a Ferrari, you wouldn't want a Ferrari? You don't usually hear like a billionaire say, oh, I don't want this yacht, but somebody who's broke, they'll probably say something like, oh, this yacht, this is too big. I wouldn't even want all that. You know what I mean? But you're also not in the neighborhood of even being able to afford a yacht. So it's easy for you to say it. And I think that's the same thing for Anthony Joshua right here. It's easy to say belts don't matter, yada, yada, yada. Because you got to look at it right now in boxing. Two people have really been saying that the belts don't matter, belts don't matter. Now AJ, and before that, Ryan Garcia. Two beltless people keep saying that belts don't matter. So, you know, put that in your pipe and smoke it. You don't have Usyk saying belts don't matter, because that would kind of be counterproductive. He's a unified champion, one belt away from being undisputed, right? You don't hear Errol Spence Jr. saying belts don't matter when one by one he beat champions and unified and stepped in as a challenger versus Kell Brooks. So basically, so realistically, right? And he had to go collect those belts and snatch them eyes up to become a 3-belt holding champion. So again, it would be one thing if Errol Spence Jr. was saying belts don't matter because he has 3 of them, and then that would just be, you know, it'd be easier to understand. Joshua has 0 belts as of right now, and he may lose again on Saturday. And in fact, I'm picking Usyk, and then he's the one talking about belts don't matter. You know what I'm saying? So it becomes easier for you to take that stance when you don't have it. And the hypocritical thing is, as I mentioned, you didn't hear Eddie Hearn or Joshua talking about this. If anything, they were throwing the belts in people's faces, like Deontay Wilder saying, hey, you're the B-side, take this $12.5 million flat fee because we fought Klitschko and we got the belts. So it was like we belts. And then now when you lose to Usyk, you try to flip it and act like you don't care about having the belts. So for Joshua particularly, I think it's very hypocritical. Ryan Garcia, he's never been a champion. So of course he's going to say that. He's going to say, oh, I got a following and whatever. But for Joshua, I would respect it more if he said this and kept this energy when he had the belts, but he never did it. If you guys can prove me wrong, leave me a link to a credible website or interview where Joshua, when he had belts, when he hadn't lost, when he was an active unified champion, made any statements about belts don't matter and I don't care and belts never made me, they just want to collect my sanctioning fees. So I reject your deposit. SLC, subscribe, like, and comment. Let me know how I did in this video. I'm the best in the business, but you already knew that. Subscribe to the channel. You did. And I'm out. Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxing Ego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with the $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a super thanks. A brand new, interactive, and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super thanks. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working.